So let me ask you this. I like to always pick practitioners' brains. What type of things have you maybe adjusted, augmented in some of your training protocols recently? You and I were talking briefly before we went on camera. Can you talk a little bit about the triphasic side of things that you're implementing? Obviously, triphasic's work that Cal Dietz has really put out there.
Yeah, I mean, in the last few years, I was lucky enough to, one, read the book and then immediately have a date planned with a hockey team traveling to Minnesota to sit down with Cal and talk to him about his book. So I'd already kind of gone through the process myself, had read and kind of gotten as much background information as needed and formulated those questions. Got to sit down with him for 2 hours and pick his brain about some of the questions that I had. We immediately started kind of truly getting into it with our hockey team when we got back. I had gone through the process myself. I knew, roughly where that stress was and what it was like to make that change. So we initially actually started with a 8 to 10 week research study conducted, through our department and mechanical engineering, using force plate testing protocols, and it was a multi-plane study, so looking at linear, lateral, transverse force production. And looking at some of those key factors like rate of force development, ground contact time, peak force, and just seeing how those things changed across triphasic training. So that's been probably the biggest change. But then we also have, I think, really great consultants that we use. And they impact what we do day to day because it improves our knowledge base. We have wonderful relationship with Dr. Nicholas Thudholm, who runs private, basic chiropractic practice out of both Denver and in Boulder, and he primarily is a soccer expert and works a lot with triathletes. But he is a world-renowned expert when it comes to return to play protocols and kind of doing some unique strategies using some of the Gary Gray methods in terms of mobilization and creating, I think, a different approach to maybe some of the more standard approaches out there to get people back to really high performance over a shorter period of time down after an injury.